Before I knew what a bull market was, I knew the weight of a harvest. In my village, survival wasn't a concept, it was a schedule. While other kids played, we were tending the goats. We were washing our own clothes by hand before the sun even dared to wake up. We didn't complain about the backaches. We were too busy preparing for the most important day of the week. Wednesday was different. Wednesday was Tabo, our local trading day. It was the day the dust of the farm met the energy of the marketplace. This was my first classroom. I didn't have textbooks. I had the buy-on, that special treat my mother would buy with the profits of our hard work. That sweet bread didn't just taste like sugar. It tasted like victory. At the Wednesday market, I learned the law of the land, supply and demand, resilience, the patience to wait for the right price. I didn't know it then, but I wasn't just selling vegetables. I was learning how to trade the world. The world has changed. The village square has moved into the palm of my hand. The mud is gone, replaced by the London Open, the Tokyo trend, and the New York volatility. People ask me, isn't trading risky? I tell them, risk isn't the market. Risk is being unprepared. The same discipline it took to carry those water buckets is the same discipline I use to manage my stop loss. The same patience it took to wait for the harvest is the same patience I use to wait for the perfect entry. The market never sleeps, and neither does the spirit of the Wednesday ritual. We aren't just trading for profits anymore. We are trading for legacy. We moved from buying food for the week to buying freedom for a lifetime. Whether you are looking at a plow or a smartphone, the rule is the same. You cannot harvest what you do not plant. If you want the buy-on of financial freedom, you have to endure the Tabo of the learning curve. I am Ching, and this is my perspective. Don't just watch the world trade. Get your hands dirty. Remember where you came from. In the fields, time is measured in sweat. As a boy, I didn't see commodities or assets. I saw my mother's tired hands. We spent months planting, weeding, and praying for rain. One Wednesday morning, we brought our harvest to the Tabo, the local market. We sold our life's work for 10 pesos per kilo. I thought it was just how the world worked. You sweat, you get paid. I was wrong. I watched my aunt buy our harvest. She didn't plant the seeds. She didn't feel the midday sun. She simply moved the crates to the other side of the market and sold them for 15. In a split second, she earned a 50% profit without a single drop of sweat. At first, it felt like a betrayal. I felt the sting of injustice for my mother's hard labor, but as the years passed, the sting turned into a revelation. My mother knew how to produce value. My aunt knew how to trade it. Today, the market isn't just a physical place, it's in our pockets. Whether it's the stock market or cryptocurrency, the spirit of the Tabo remains the same. The soil has been replaced by silicon. We have farming in crypto staking and holding, where you plant your capital and wait months for the fruit to ripen. And then there is the fast-paced world of trading. I realized that the charts I see on my screen are just digital versions of that Wednesday morning. Here is the perspective most people miss. The businessman gains without the physical suffering of the farmer, not because he is lucky, but because he understands leverage. In life, you can be the one who plants or the one who moves the crates. Both are necessary, but only one leads to freedom, whether you are scalping the small price gaps or holding for the long harvest. Remember this, wealth isn't just about how hard work is, it's about how clearly you see the market. My mother gave me the work ethic. My aunt gave me the strategy. Now, I use both. Most people think that to win in business, you have to be a shark. You have to be cold. You have to be willing to bite. My father was the opposite. He was a man of the soil, a man of his word. And for a long time, I thought that was his greatest weakness. It started with a family opportunity. My uncles convinced him to join Wednesday trading. Buy livestock from the villages, sell them at the big auction. They told him he'd be rich. He gave them his savings, his sweat capital. My uncles would return with empty pockets and long faces. The market was rigged, they say. The experts manipulated the prices. We lost everything today. I watched my father's shoulders slump. I watched him doubt himself. He thought he wasn't smart enough for the high-stakes world of trading. He blamed his lack of knowledge. But as a child, you see things the adults think you're too small to notice. Every Wednesday at midnight, the losers became kings. I saw the trucks. I heard the laughter. I watched my uncles brag to the neighbors about the massive killing they made at the auction. They weren't losing. They were stealing. They were buying round beer for the whole village with the money they told my father didn't exist. To them, it was just business. To me, it was the first time I saw the face of betrayal. I wanted him to fight. I wanted him to scream, to demand his share, to expose their lies. But my father did something much more powerful. He didn't seek revenge. He sought peace. One morning, he just stopped. He walked away from the Wednesday trading and the expert manipulation. He went back to the one thing that never lies to you, the land. He started producing vegetables for the city market. People called him crazy. Why grow cabbages for pennies when you can trade cattle for thousands? They asked. But my father just smiled. He knew something they didn't. My uncles and wealth, but they had to live in the shadows. They had to hide their success from their own family. They had to lie to look their brother in the eye. My father, he slept like a king. He taught me that if your hustle requires you to sacrifice your integrity, it's not a business, it's prison. He taught me that fairness isn't a weakness. It's the ultimate competitive advantage. He wasn't a failed trader. He was a successful human being. He chose a life where he didn't have to trick anyone to put food on our table. He traded greed for justice, and in doing so, he gave me a wealth that money can't buy, a conscience. We live in a world that tells us to get ahead at any cost. But I'm here to tell you the cost is too high if it costs you your soul. Be the person who bulbs something real. Be the person who chooses fairness over a fast buck. Life, my father. Choose a legacy that your children can brag about. Not because of the money, but because of the man. Have you ever had to choose between easy money and your integrity? Let's talk about it. You close your eyes. You can still smell it. The dust, the sweat, the metallic tang of spilled blood. Wednesday wasn't just a day of the week where I grew up. It was a religion. They called it the tabo, the trading. But the real business wasn't livestock. It was hope. And it happened in the cockpit. I remember my uncle, a master of the arena. You talked to him about breeding, about training. He sounded like a professor. He knew the algorithms of the fight. He could predict a move before the bird even flinched. He was an expert in violence. Every Wednesday morning, he walked out the door like a king going to war. He would spend hours bathing those roosters. He bought them premium vitamins. They ate better than half the village. His focus on those birds was 1,000%. But I watched something else. I watched him walk past his wife, who had been working all day, and not even offer her a glass of water. The rooster got the premium feed. The family got the scraps of his attention. And then came the evening, the walk of shame. I learned the language of losers very young. If you asked them, they never truly lost. Almost, they'd say, just bad luck. Next week is the big win. I love their lies. Because if I didn't love the lies, I'd have to hate the truth. They were trapped. They talked about luck, but I started doing the math. The price per kilogram of a fighting rooster was more expensive than a kilogram of rice to feed their children. They were losers before the first bet was placed. They had the resources to gamble every Saturday, Sunday, and holiday. But when you asked for money for school books, their pockets were empty. Almost all my uncles, my cousins, they caught the virus. They believed that if they just cracked the code, they would be rich. They didn't own the vice. The vice owned them. I wondered, what would happen if that 1,000% focus shifted from the arena to their own bloodline? But there me that being a man isn't about how much you can risk. It's about how much you can provide. Today, people see me trading. They see the charts, the markets moving up and down. They whisper, "See? Ching is just like his uncles. Trading is just cockfighting with a keyboard." What comes to the father comes to the son. I inherited my father's stubbornness. For me, the Wednesday market isn't a cockpit. It's a discipline. I don't enter a trade hoping for luck. I don't lie to myself when I lose. I know when to enter. And more importantly, I have the discipline to take profit and walk away. The gamblers are still there, chasing the almost win, trading their dignity for a chance at quick cash. I chose a different path. I don't trade for the thrill. I trade for freedom. Because the greatest lesson I ever learned didn't come from an algorithm or a financial guru. It came from a hard-working man who never placed a bet. He taught me that in the end, profit is just numbers. But integrity is wealth. If you made this far, comment the word "more" so I know who the real ones are.